discuss and consider for action any discussion item listed on the regular agenda of September 26, 2013.
I move that we replace the city attorney.
And I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please
Well,
signify.
I'll discuss, because I think it's, I think we kind of got off to the wrong foot with the city attorney. And I think the issues have been issues about transparency and open government. As we all commented, we've seen improvement, but I don't know that the trust can be restored with the public in that area. And I think it's also a sense on council that there's been favoritism from that office toward certain factions on council. And that's another thing that I don't know if we can get back on an even keel from that. So that's the reason that I seconded the motion. I've also been disappointed in some of the extent of the legal advice we've received, and I've raised some of those issues here before. And that said, I gather from the conversation in the executive session that the votes are probably not here for this. And therefore, I want to say that I hope we'll all be able to work together in the future and keep going and address some of the problems we've had. And I think it's, painful as it is, certainly for the city attorney, and uncomfortable, I'm sure. I think it's healthy for us to be honest about the issues and where we find ourselves, and I hope this motion won't make it impossible for us to work together in the future.
While I find no issues of the operations in the city attorney's office, I find I have great issues with the advice that the city attorney gives to council in public and in private. To wit, Houston versus HUD decision, where a reading of the decision was the exact opposite of what the city attorney told us it said. Further, the $30,000 expenditure for what's referred to as leak gate when the risk reward wasn't there. The idea that we were going to have an attorney come in here and talk to a bunch of people and find out who did it and have it cost us $30,000, I thought was just very unwise. And the executive sessions that we had earlier in this year, and I don't think that they met the threshold for private attorney-client privilege. And I think that hurt us with the public doing things in private. And we went and hired an expert. We hired an expert because a number of our decisions had been qualified by stating that as long as we affirmatively further fair housing. We had an expert come in and say we weren't doing that, and yet the city attorney seemed fine with that. And I had my phone lit up with lawyers after that, because how can we be passing ordinances that are dependent on affirmatively further fair housing, and our own expert tells us we're not doing it, and the city attorney doesn't apprise us of the dangers. And I have no problem with the operations. I think the paper is off base when they said that the city attorney's running the city. I don't think that's the case. But I have a major problem with the way the city attorney is relating legal advice to council on a number of issues, and that's why I made the motion.
Any more discussion? Mr. Alden?
There was a lot said in executive session, and I think some of the things that I we'd be repeating everything that was going on in executive session. I don't think the votes are there either, Dottie, to let you go. And so I'm hoping that by this vote, you do understand that there are some council members that have been very disappointed and have been hurt by your actions. And I truly mean that. And I'm speaking to you on a level of the meetings that we've had going into executive session, the questions that have been all around them about the transparency, to the investigation, to the tickets, not letting them out to the public. It can go on and on and on. And I did say that I felt like we have an image problem. And unfortunately, I felt like the legal department has helped cause that by some of the legal advice that you have given this council. And I feel that you are a crutch to certain members on this council and have made it easier for them to be able to dictate and to really run over other council members and get things passed that really should have never been passed. So unfortunately, I am going to vote to relieve you. Like I said, I don't think the votes are there, so hopefully we'll be able to work together after this and for you to realize that all the statements that we've been making in your reviews, to please take those under consideration and to separate yourself from the people that you have aligned yourself on this council with. And I think that is what would truly be in the best interest of every person on this island, is if you would do that. So my request is that you do that. And if you choose not to, of course, that's your prerogative. But I think that's going to be probably your downfall if you continue that. So I'm going to have to go ahead and vote for this, and I'm sorry.
Any more discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by raising their hand. Ms. Tarleton, Ms. Beaton, Mr. Papoose. All those opposed, please signify by raising their hands. Ms. Banks, Mr. Legg, Rosen, and Robb. The motion fails.